I wouldn't have thought of that because I'm not a creative asshole. But being that I am an asshole, I do think this is delicious, and I will be stealing that term. Thank you, sir.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for your dose of Weekly Whiskey with John and Jay.
Weekly Whiskey is made on Mackie. You can find out more on Mackie.com.
Yeah, Mackie makes us sound awesome. We love having the gear in the studio. Great whiskey, great audio, always a good combination. And we have a great whiskey for you here tonight. What are we getting into, John?
Let's dig in. We're going to do a little review for you guys tonight. Here we've got the Blood Oath Pact number 8. This is limited edition, comes out yearly. I think the shtick behind this one is that they always make this new Blood Oath Pact that will never be made again, and secret recipe and all that. It's always interesting. They do something fun with it every year. Some years better than others, of course, with anything. The last couple of years, though, I've liked all of them, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. I'm ready to give this one a whirl. What do you say?
Yeah, man. I mean, so Blood Oath, let's go ahead and dig in a little bit. A lot of people are like, hey, I've never heard of that brand, Blood Oath. Well, they're owned by, well, this is where it gets fun. They are a brand released by Lux Row Distillers, who is owned by Luxco, who was recently purchased by MGP, who recently rebranded to Ross and Squibb. So technically, this is Ross and Squibb's MGP, Lux Row Distillers Luxco edition of Blood Oath Pact number 8. It is a blend of 14-year high rye bourbon, 11-year high rye bourbon, and an 8-year high rye bourbon. They blended that sucker together. They aged it for another period of time in Calvados casks, which is a brandy, and then they went ahead and bottled it at their standard 49.3% ABV. Bottled this guy up nice and green. I thought it was a rye for a second because funny how that works. And we're here drinking it tonight. So you can expect to find this for about $100 if you can find it at all. And it's the 8th edition. So this is a new finish. We don't see a lot of Calvados in the whiskey.
No, we don't. Aside from some of the things that we have to go looking pretty hard for. I mean, I'm not talking bourbon. I'm talking about actual Calvados here, but
also
could be weird, could be crazy. Calvados, I feel like, can be weird in and of itself.
Also that, I mean,
I'm ready to play.
Yeah, Calvados is really interesting. I love it. Spoiler alert, there might be some coming for an aficionados drop if you follow aficionados group and like weird nerdy brandy, but that day is not today. Let's get to the whiskey.
I do like weird nerdy brandy though, just if you were curious about that.
I think I'd like you less if you didn't.
Fair.
It's a good character trait to have it. It's a good value. It's a virtue.
Nose on this. Let's go. I'm in already. Sorry. I know you're like wanting to talk about like things and stuff and details, and I'm just like whiskey.
I'm off in the weeds, man. Let's get to the whiskey. This is expressive.
I'm in the whiskey while you're in the weeds, and it's not an awful combination, but I think we could do worse. Could do a little better. So let's go. Maybe we both get in the whiskey. What do you say?
Man, this is juicy. This is much juicier than I expected in a good way. This is like apple pie all day, like big and sweet with a nice peppery backbone, lots of nutmeg, baking spice. This is interesting.
Good peppery backbone. That's a good way to put that. Juicy is also a really good term for that. I wouldn't have thought of that because I'm not a creative asshole. But being that I am an asshole, I do think this is delicious, and I will be stealing that term. Thank you, sir.
It's juicy. I mean, not juicy in like that Oregon Pinot Noir way where you're like, oh, it tastes like fruit juice. But like, this is big and ripe. I kind of thought, Calvados isn't always the boldest spirit. It's a spirit of nuance and complexity. This really works. Like that, there is no doubting the influence.
Yeah.
Both in color.
Good color.
Like really, really nice color.
Oh man, really the nose. I could just be involved with smelling this whiskey for quite some time.
It rests on the palate nicely too, especially for under 50%. Yeah, and that's part of the shtick, right? These are always 98.6 proof, but sometimes I feel like that is a little bit of a handicap, and sometimes I feel like, geez, this is actually like kind of money right where it is, and this one falls into the money zone, as I like to call it. The money zone. This gets John to spend money, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll definitely buy that.
Okay. I mean, how are these in your neck of the woods? I stumbled upon Oath number 7 last year, and I felt pretty special. Like, I don't see these very often. Are these common in Maine?
Not super common. I've got the last, I think, 3 without it being like a real challenge. when they hit the shelf, they kind of sit there at that. I think it's 109 is what it sits at. So it's sort of but it comes in like a wooden box. So like it sort of has like that. If you're looking for a gift and you're okay with $100, you'll probably buy it. But like you said earlier, not a lot of people know exactly what it is, and they look at something like, okay, it's bourbon finished in this, and I don't know what that'll be like. So like I think there's some scare factor, and some folks don't dive into it. But I haven't had any trouble grabbing the last 3 in a row.
Okay.
I don't know how easily I'll see number 8. I haven't seen it yet, but it is tasty, and I'm excited about it.
Given that it just dropped, like, I mean, these just came in pretty recently, last couple of weeks for us, like here in the studio. So I'd expect them to hit shelves soon-ish, throw a trademark next to that soon trademark.
Yeah,
definitely. Maine, maybe 2024, but if you can find it, there's hope for the rest of America, except maybe Texas. So, I'd buy this for $100.
Yeah, this is a thumbs up for me. I like this one. It's got a lot of good. I mean, it doesn't drink fruity, but it has a lot of great, like, background apple character to it. A lot of good layers of spice. Rich bourbon profile overall. That older bourbon that's in there, I think, is doing a lot of work. And all in all, this is nicely blended, nicely finished, and I'm pretty.
Where this sticks out to me, and this will be my final note, besides the obvious go by, there's a lot of whiskey here. Got a lot of bottles hanging around for one reason or another. I don't know of anything else here in my house that tastes like this does. So,
true.
Like I already have this taste in my head. Like when I want that, like this is that bottle. Like I'm just going to have to go straight to it. It's not like one of those analysis paralysis where you have 14 different Elijah Craigs in front of you and you're like, oh geez, which one do I want tonight? Like when I want that nice juicy apple pie bourbon with great oak complexity and a long finish, like this is it.
I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, that really kind of sums up Blood Oath too. I mean, these are all not necessarily like a mood pour in the sense that you'll only want to have them once in a while.
Right.
But if you kind of get into the mood for that, there's not a whole lot that's going to scratch the same itch. You're going to have a really tough time finding something like this. So, could this be like a Wednesday night sipper? Yes. Could this be a bust it out with your friends and be like, hey, try this, tell me what you think? Yes. Could it be a special occasion bottle too? Absolutely. You'll get a lot of mileage out of this, I think.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That's a great way to put it. When you have the itch, it will only be scratched by this bottle. And you should share it with everyone you know, because whether they're, a Calvados fan or not, they got to try it. Like this is one of the more interesting things I've tried all year. I know the year's young, but that's a pretty good milestone. So nice work, Blood Oath. This is good.
Yeah, definitely good work. And on that note, thank you guys for getting your dose of weekly whiskey with John and Jay.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you like what we're doing, if you like the whiskey, if you like hanging out with us, go ahead and join our community as well. You can find some behind the scenes information, additional content. You can chat with us all day long. We love to talk whiskey. We'd love to have you. We are over at patreon.com/thewhiskeynet.
You can also hit that join button right below the video here to join our YouTube community, and that'll get you some inside information as well, some more connectivity. We love that stuff. And don't forget to check out our studio sponsor, Mackie Gear. You can find them on Instagram or at mackie.com.
Mackie makes us sound great. Great whiskey, great audio, great combination. If you're looking for more from John, you can find him over at thebourbonfinder.com. Lots of reviews. I know he'll have this written up soon. And if you are looking for more from me, I'm Jay over at whiskeyraiders.com. We are your Rotten Tomatoes of whiskey. I have this review up now. Go ahead and see what I scored it. Shocker, the sample's running out fast. Really delicious. And once again, it's been great to have you. If you pick this up, let us know if you like it in comments, and we'll see you on another video. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.